Alright, this is a website for helping you learn more about enemy ships in FTL. Do note that some of the information is only correct if you are playing on hard difficulty. So the first thing you need to do is from this home page, click on one of these boxes to choose a type of ship. Now, I will just own up to something. I have not designed this to work on a mobile phone. You do need a decent sized screen. Otherwise, you're going to have problems with this fixed layout bar on the left. I just couldn't be bothered to make it work. So yeah, what you can see on this page, if you want to go back to the home page, there's this breadcrumb navigation here. Over here in the top right, we have all of the missiles and bombs that these types of enemy ship can have. So rebel ships, for example, they only get small bombs, and beneath that all the drones that they can have if that ship class gets any drones at all. And we can click on some of the controls here. We can hide the rooms so you see what it looks like from the outside. We can show the rooms. We can switch to the pirate layouts, which are different from the regular layouts. We can show the weapon slots. So this is the order in which weapons are generated for the enemy ship and what slot they occupy. This will affect certain tactics, like if you hit them with ion damage. So for example, if you hit this ship with ion damage, then this pike beam over here is going to go down first. We can look at how many crew they have, and that's specified by a sector range. You'll see that in a number of overlays. We can look at how much hull they have. Hull just goes up by 1 each sector, but different ships have different amounts of starting hull. And we can look at some extra information, which shows what sector you can encounter the ship in, how many missiles it has, and how many drone parts it has, if it has a system that uses drones. One slight complexity with drone parts here is that there is a minimum value that is specified in the ship blueprint itself. But that will be increased to double the number of drones that the ship actually has. So potentially a rigger here, it could have 4 drones, so that would mean it had 8 drone parts. Hacking doesn't give any extra drones. Okay, so then the next thing, which is a little bit more complicated, is you can hover over a ship and click on Systems. And this will pop up a table showing you the range of systems, system levels by the sector that you are in. So I have collapsed these into ranges when they're the same for a certain sector. And if you want to leave this dialog, you can click Close. You can also just click on a system icon at the bottom here, and that will just swap to that overlay. Optional systems, by the way, some systems are not guaranteed to appear on a ship. So on the Rebel Fighter here, the med bay is a 30% chance in Sector 1. That's the same for any optional system. And then the chance of an optional system being spawned increases by 10% each sector. And then if we want to close a system, instead of hitting close, you can also hit the same tray icon again, just like this. And these will be independent as well. You can have different ones open. Now, one slight complication that I just want to mention is I've chosen to show you the actual ranges that you can in practice encounter in the game, as opposed to just the blueprint file range. So Mantis Bomber and Mantis Aggressor here are really good examples. Because these are more or less the same ship. This is just the version with the clone bay, and systems being swapped around slightly. But this ship can appear. Actually, let's show that. This ship, the bomber, can appear in Sector 2 as part of a specific event. The Mantis Ship Collector's quest beacon will always spawn a Mantis bomber. Normally, that ship wouldn't be allowed to appear until Sector 5, but this event forces it to happen. So that's why the range on the bomber is 2 to 8, whereas the range on the aggressor is 5 to 8. These are the actual sectors that you can encounter them in. And then I've also noted sometimes, like in Sector 8, you can only find Mantis ships in one event. Just to give you an idea of, how likely you are to run into a particular ship in a given situation, particularly for like sector choices or whatever. But that also affects the system levels that I've chosen to display. So if we click on shields here, you'll see we get quite different tables, even though, well, okay, this one has a lower max, but we get quite different tables because this can appear in Sector 2. I'm not showing you the values for Sector 2 for a Mantis Aggressor because you will literally never see a Mantis Aggressor in Sector 2. So I hope that makes sense. I have tried to choose the thing that I thought was the most sensible from the point of view of condensing information and making it easier to remember some of the patterns that you might want to remember if you are trying to learn any of this stuff. Oh, I should probably mention where I got this information from. A lot of it is actually just available in the game files, but in addition to that, there were two important sources of information from the community. One was a great big spreadsheet of information about enemy ships that Meklos created from a lot of testing that they did. And then the second, more recent one was a load of information that MathJamp discovered from like code diving, basically. They kind of reverse engineered some of the FTL source code and got at things like the actual formula that is used to generate these system ranges from the blueprint data. So, for example, with the systems, what I've done is I've copied the minimum and maximum values from the blueprints that are actually in the game files, and then I've made I've coded a version of MathJamp's formula. I actually had to fill in a couple of the details myself because it wasn't completely clear. And I've then created a set of automated tests to verify that all of these ranges that you can see actually agree with examples taken from Meklos' data. So I've kind of double-checked my homework as best I can on this, because obviously if you were inputting these manually or something, there'd be a high chance of copy and paste errors if I was going straight from Meklos' data. But all of them agreed. There's also some stuff that I've just put in from my own knowledge of the game, to do with like what ships can appear in what sectors in events in practice, and some of this stuff like NG ships never run, for example. I think everything should be correct, but please do let me know if you think anything is not right. Oh, the other thing I should mention is that these screenshots are all taken in Sector 1. So that's just using mods. Of course you won't find a Mantis bomber in Sector 1, but that's why it only has one shield, right? Oh, there's one more thing that you can do if you like to have a bit of fun. Rebel maybe again. Is you can click the Test Yourself button, and then all the systems are going to disappear from the enemy ship layout. They still have them down here in the tray. And you can then drag and drop stuff. So if I put piloting in the middle here, it's not going to work because that's not where it goes. And it just doesn't do anything. Drag it over to where it actually goes and it will stick. And then you see that we've done piloting down here. So we can see what's left. So what is this? A rigger has the big shields room in the middle. It has drones up here. Weapons are down here. Engines are here, oxygen, hang on, no, medbay is there, oxygen is off to the side and doors are in that room that's often empty, and then disruptor is same piloting, drones in the middle, weapons is off to the side, clone bay is the same place as medbay, where does shields goes down here. Hacking. Is hacking up top or is it here? Oh, O2 is up top. So hacking's here. O2 is there. Engines are there. Now, realistically, I'm not expecting anyone to like learn the position of every single room on every single ship. But there might be some that you want to remember sometimes. I don't know. In any case, it's just a bit of fun. And you can click out of it or you can switch to pirates. But when you click this button, stop testing, it will reset everything and you're back to normal. And that's it. I think that covers everything. I will be adding at least one more feature to this. I'll also add the flagship at some point. When I do that, I will replace this video. So I'll put a new video up. And you'll always be able to get it at this link. And yeah, hope some of you find this useful or interesting or something. And that's it.